TYT Sports, everybody. Turks and Jerks. Jason Rubin, Ben Mankiewicz, Michael Schur. We're doing our Jerks of the week now. Jason, we'll be right.
So last second change. Originally, I was going to choose Mike Patton, but maybe I think you guys convinced me. Maybe it's not the worst call in the world to start Johnny Football and put him in the game. Not start Johnny Football, but put him in the game in the fourth quarter. So, little rehash, go forward. The Baltimore Ravens could not close out that game against the San Diego Chargers.
Led the whole game.
They led the whole game. The Chargers defense decided to show up at the right time, so that could make them Turk-worthy to hold them to a field goal. Jones returns the kick to, the 35-yard line. Yeah. They're in enemy territory. They couldn't get their offense going for those 3 downs, and they settle for a field goal. And the Chargers make...
They got conservative. They also didn't get a first down.
But we know conservative doesn't work. Is this not what John Fox does with Denver?
Plays, or did they throw the ball?
They threw it once. They threw it on second down. They had an incomplete pass.
Okay. Because that stopped the clock.
Yes, because the clock stopped.
Yeah.
And this to me is just like John Fox, what do they call it, turtling. He just gets conservative with the defense. It's like the opposite with the offense. Like, you got to close out that game. Joe Flacco is capable of doing that, and he actually played a pretty good game, and I'm a Joe Flacco hater.
No team should think, unless they are the Chicago Bears defense of 1985 or the Ravens or one of the elite defense, the Niners for a few years ago, should think that they could stop a team with a competent quarterback in the last 2 minutes from kicking a field goal. It's just, you shouldn't assume it. You can't do it.
I think there was more time than 2 minutes.
There was over 2 minutes. The Ravens took their last time out. The Chargers took their last time out with about 2:27 left on third down. So they were going for it. They had to stop them on that play, and then they did. But real quick, you can't. So in my defense of John Harbaugh and the Ravens would be that they're going to kick a field goal. They're going to get a chance. It just happens. We've seen it too often. Unless you're an elite defense at the end of a game, tired against a pretty good quarterback, they'll get the ball to the 30-yard line. They just will. But
even when Ryan Matthews drops a pass.
Man, he should have caught that ball. But it turned out it didn't matter. But you do think that, and I'm sure Harbaugh thought, we can keep them from scoring. Yeah. We can keep them out of the end zone, and a 6-point lead means they got to score a touchdown. And it took a pass interference call, which I think Fouts was on that game, doing the game for CBS. That was not to me even a remotely questionable penalty. That was pass interference in the end zone, 100%, called 100% of the time.
I'm not arguing the penalty. To me, play to win, close out the game, get the touchdown, settle for the field goal, see what happens. Phillip Rivers is obviously capable of leading a game-winning drive with some help from that flag.
He scrambled in that game.
Yeah.
Phillip, I don't think I've ever seen that before. I don't think I've ever seen him run. He always looks like he's about to tip over.
He looks awful.
Is he top heavy?
Yeah, he feels like he's just
like that's about to happen.
Anyway, that's I don't know who to exactly blame there. I guess they got a little conservative, but I think they felt pretty confident with a 6-point lead. That said, having watched that game, I was rooting for the Chargers in that game. That game should have been won by the Ravens.
My jerk of the week. Well, personally, my jerks of the week are the San Francisco 49ers, not because they lost to the Seahawks and sort of put a bad mark on Thanksgiving, because as a 49ers fan, nothing is more dull than watching 49ers football. Yep. They are the most boring team in football, and it pains me to say that. They're not my jerks of the week. One jerk of the week, Kevin Gilbride. He's the offensive coordinator for the New York Giants, the New York Football Giants. And they were down 21-3.
The Jaguars.
The Jaguars were down 21-3. The Giants were up 21-3. Allowed 2 defensive touchdowns. Uninspired play calling down the stretch.
Both of the defensive touchdowns, it felt to me, Michael, that the Giants, the plays happened a little bit in slow motion.
Yeah.
They weren't blindside hits where the ball pops loose and
totally.
The ball's on the ground, they just didn't seem to be. They seemed like
they didn't care. It was I don't it's like George H.W. Bush running for re-election. He didn't really want to win. But the real problem with the Giants this season has been, on many occasions, the defense. And Perry Fewell, the defensive coordinator there, has been under a lot of fire from the New York press. They got to get rid of either Coughlin or Fewell. They have to retool. But yesterday it was Kevin Gilbride. This anemic offense is not all about Eli Manning. The play calling, the execution, as Ben said, the urgency. So he is my jerk of the week this week. They should not have lost to the Jaguars, and they should not have lost when they were up 21-3.
My jerk of the week, well, first of all, my jerk of the week forever and for all eternity, as it should be for all clear-thinking Americans, is Washington Redskin owner Daniel Snyder. Now,
Right.
I am also going to suggest that this week's jerk on a football-related basis, but it also relates to Snyder, is the defensive coordinator of the Washington football team. And that would be somehow still Jim Haslett, who has survived administrations and continues on there, despite the fact that no one thought the Redskins played nice defense last year. And then all of a sudden you hire a new coach and you're like, you know what we'll do, who we're going to hold over? That defensive coordinator from the Shanahan era where we had this suffocating defense. So, you guys probably didn't pay a lot of attention to that game. Colt McCoy starting for RG3 looked pretty good. CM3 looked pretty good.
Wow.
But Washington gave up in addition to a 49-yard touchdown run by Dan Herron. Mm-hmm. Right. I mean,
Right.
I mean, no wonder this guy's breaking down in September. I mean, he's playing football. For crying out loud.
That's true.
So, in addition to giving up the 49-yard run, I'll grant them that. They gave up a 48-yard touchdown pass to a wide-open Dante Moncrief. They gave up
more wide open than anyone in the history of wide open, maybe.
Until the 73-yard touchdown pass to Kobe Fleener, who was more wide open than anyone had ever been. Until the 79-yard touchdown pass to Dante Moncrief, who was more wide open than anyone had ever been. And I'm leaving out the first 30-yard touchdown to Kobe Fleener, where there was no one else on the screen.
Yeah.
On the screen, it looked like the pregame Andrew Luck warming up, where they throw it.
They're he's standing in the end zone, just
standing in the end zone,
and
catches it, and he
throws it to another guy.
Exactly, and they're like laughing, pointing at a girl in the stands.
According to Phil Simms, Moncrief was basically double covered.
Yeah, that's right.
There were four guys. They were not within. The closest defensive player was probably 50 aggregate yards away on those four touchdowns, and we're leaving out Kobe Fleener dropping a touchdown pass.
That's right.
I don't know how many of you guys, whether you guys saw this, because literally he was so wide open. The throw came, he's by himself, there's no one, again, on the screen, and he has to turn around and catch it like a punt.
Yeah.
He's so open, and then he was like, and he just dropped it. And what I liked about Fleener on that, he was like, yeah, I just dropped it. We're not gonna beat up ourselves about it. First of all, we're gonna win this game, so it's not a big deal. I have never seen, I don't believe, guys that consistently wide open. I mean, talk about massive coverage breakdowns. I mean, and what I would always say in this type of situation, fire him now. Don't allow somehow 4 games where Washington gives up 11.7 points per game. He's got to go. He can't save himself.
Yeah.
Don't give. It's the defensive coordinator. Your season's over. Promote the secondary coach.
Yeah, or sign Chargers defensive coordinator John Pagano.
John Pagano of the Chargers, the DC there.
Exactly. From Phil Simms quotes at Phil Simms quotes. I just want to bury one last one. The quote of the day from Phil Simms: "The last 3 home games, they've never punted in the first half. Currently, 2:21 left in the third." Phil Simms.